Time for our next Salesforce leader to share her tips and strategies on using social media. She began her Mary Kay business in February 2004 and debuted as a sales director in September 2004. She was honored by her sister sales directors as the monthly Go Give nominee for November of 2018. She is a 9-time member of the Queen's Court of Personal Sales and a 12-time member of the Queen's Court of Sharing, including 6 times in the top 20. She led her unit to achieve 13 unit circle appearances, including the $500,000 Circle of Achievement, and 9 times in the Circle of Excellence. She has earned 9 top sales director trips, 5 of them being the top sales director prestige trip. She has appeared in the top 10 of her seminar 4 times and was a top 10 sales director nationwide in 2016. She led her unit to the $1 million Circle of Excellence twice, her highest in the $1 million Circle of Excellence. Sharing this MK moment on social media, please welcome independent future executive, senior sales director, Heather Daniel Kent.
You speak, and you're all my friends, right? Right? Okay, I get nervous. Okay, so when I first started my Mary Kay business, I was very intimidated and I was a little bit lost. I come from a criminal justice background, social work background, and the sales part of what we do just had me feeling very unsure. But as a good student, which I sometimes can be, I read Mary Kay's autobiography. And what I really took from that was, and it really has been the beacon of my 20 years in this business and has translated into my social media presence, is sales is just a transfer of enthusiasm, right? And women don't want to be sold to, but they love the opportunity to buy. So there's my social media philosophy. And I want to give you guys some tips today that would really hope to help you develop your own strategy. So my intention with this time is to not talk about algorithms, social media platforms, because literally by the time I would get done talking, they'd be different. So that would be futile. What I really want to talk about is just how I finally embraced the imperfection to create growth. If it's 60% good, it's good. So if it's 60% good, it's good. Because social media can be the ultimate head game of perfectionism and comparison, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It is absolutely so intimidating out there, and it's really easy to look left and right, and it's really easy to feel less than, because there's a lot of amazing people doing some amazing things on social media. So what I tried to do is stop playing the game of what's gonna get me the most views and likes, and I started playing the game of how can I be good at what I'm good at and what I know about, and how can I be of service. That is a game that we all can win, correct? Correct?
Correct.
Correct? Thank you. Okay, so here is what made me and continues to make me want to figure social media out. Like I said, it changes all the time. So if you can relate to this, I love people. Do you love people?
Yes.
I really love communicating. Do you love communicating?
Yes.
Do you love sharing Mary Kay product?
Yes.
I love sharing Mary Kay product. I love teaching and sometimes entertaining. Do you love teaching and sometimes entertaining? Okay, so if women are on social media 2.5 hours a day, that's a whole movie. 2.5 hours a day, a good one, like a really good long one. That's 36 days a year. 36 days a year is spent on social media. If I want to play the game of how I can serve, I have to be where the people are. Where are the people? On social media. So when I decided, okay, I've got to be with the people, what do we say? When the why is clear, the how is clear. So what I decided that Mary Kay for me was going to be about magnification. Okay, that was a word that was really attractive to me. So first of all, social media allows me to magnify who I connect with. So Mary Kay always said that you talk to everybody within the 3-foot rule, right? 3 feet around you, that's who you're talking to about Mary Kay. Now think social media. It's a click, it's a scroll. And they're clicking and they're scrolling, and I have to be there present with my business. Sorry. So when that happens, when they're clicking and scrolling, my world, my circle of influence gets a lot bigger. And my goal is to grow that circle of influence every single day. So how can you use 1, 2, 3, 10,000 platforms, which I feel like there are sometimes, how can you use them to grow your circle of influence? A big way that I use social media to grow is a warm chatting tool. Does anybody have Woo in their top 5 strength finders? Good. I am high Woo, which means that when in old school, before social media, you actually had to hand out business cards. And you had to walk up to people and you had to talk to them. It was very weird. It was very, very weird. Now, instead of giving a business card, I just say, who are you on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? And that's how we connect. And that is what I do every single day, all the time. That's why it's continually growing. Then I can start to develop a relationship with them and maybe get into the business relationship side of them. So I find it very easy, even easier to hand out a business card. Hey, what are you on Instagram? I want to follow you. Oh, I want to be on Facebook. Let's be friends. You can literally say that to the people at the grocery store line. I'm just saying that I have several Hy-Vee Facebook friends. That's what we do in the grocery store line. So start with and so I ask them what their preferred platform is, because I know what mine is, but what's theirs. So you kind of got to be in all the different places. So quick story about how I use social media in one of my relationship building. I go to the gym at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and nobody's cute. Nobody is cute. And nobody is happy, because it's 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But there's this one girl, and she was cute, and she was happy. It was very annoying. And also, intimidated the heck out of me. She just was so much, and I was so not, and then it's tired and cranky, and she's little and cute, and it just runs around. And so I knew that I needed to have her, because if somebody intimidates you, or they used to call it the chicken list, that's the person that you want to go to. So I literally asked the front desk lady what her name was, found her on Instagram, sort of stalked her, maybe don't, or do. So anyway, we became friends. I'm I don't know if we really became friends more. I pursued her lovingly, and because she just bothered me, and I really needed to know her. And so I'm on Instagram, and Instagram, they don't have to accept you. So you can just follow them. And so we started talking, and our relationship was built in Instagram DMs and then reinforced at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I kept asking her questions. I'm literally sending her Enneagram tests, because I'm if I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna cut to the chase and just know who I'm talking to. But all that work was done in the DMs and then reinforced at the gym. So all of that came about with social media. She got to see who I was, and I got to see who she was and find her hot buttons. Premier level senior sales director, first line. That's how that happened. I didn't know her in social media, but I built the relationship with her in social media. So social media, second point, is it also allows me to magnify what I know. So people ask me all the time, where do you develop your content? How would you share one-on-one with somebody? How would you talk to a party? That's content. It's just clipped into 90-second reels. It's just done on a 10-minute live. So it's all those things that we normally do. I just get to share with thousands and thousands and thousands of people at one time. So raise your hand if teaching and sharing this product in this company is something you love to do. Now I want you to ask, thank you, a little woo-woo. Now ask yourself, how can I teach and share more with the social media platforms. That's all it is. It kind of takes it's so much and it's so big and makes it small and identifiable and accessible. So it also allows you to magnify who you are, what you love, your identity, and your strengths. So some of those things about content is, what am I good at? What do I love? Does everybody know I love animals? Yes. That's from social media. Does everybody know that I work out at 5 o'clock in the morning? But you get to identify and relate to different kinds of people with social media. So it also allows me to magnify my perspective. So we are all entrepreneurs. What does that mean to you? Do you know there's a whole world out there that wants to be entrepreneurs? There's a whole world out there that is going to start a new side hustle in the next couple of months. What do you love about yours? That's content. What do I love about being an entrepreneur? You can develop that into so many different kinds of content. Okay, my content also comes from my work in the last 7 days. That was something that I was taught as an early director. It's how I teach my consultants, it's how I teach my sales directors, is what have I been doing in the last 7 days? That's where your content comes from. So don't think it has to be perfect. I don't think it has to be, all grandiose. Like, some of my best watched stuff is like, it's what you're doing in your bathroom every day. Like, it's not fancy, it's just real. So you guys know a lot of things out there, but how much are you sharing? I always say it doesn't matter how much you know, it only matters how much you share. Don't hoard information. Get that out there. Okay, so that's philosophy. Let's talk about activity. We know the social media landscape is ever changing, and so that kind of, I love change, but I want predictability all at the same time, and I don't want to get great at something and then it's going to change on me. So I was reading blogs and I was learning from experts, and that just sort of made it worse. And so what I needed to do was know enough, so do a little bit of research, know a little bit about what's going on out there, and then put my spin on it. And I don't know if they're going to show the picture of the social media playbook. I don't know if you've really gotten on In Touch and seen where they're really breaking down trends for us and that social media part. It's really awesome. It's where I learned that girl math was trending. Because I'm not going to deep dive in social media because I don't have that kind of time, or I don't want to have that kind of time. I want it to be given to me. And that's what they're doing. This social media department is pretty incredible. And that's what they're putting on In Touch for us. So go take those trends that they're giving us and then make it relatable and accessible with your audience in your teaching style. So right now, January. Did you know the #1 forecasted New Year's resolution for 2024? It's physical health and appearance. Win with skin. Have I heard that a whole bunch of times? We're winning with skin. And so my whole January strategy is going to be about showcasing skincare routines. And so then I got really excited. I'm like, okay, well, I have my skincare routine as a 40-something, something-ish woman, and what I do in the morning, what I do at night, what I do for my oily skin, what I do for my 40-ish something skin, what's my weekly routine. But that's just me. What else can you showcase? What about your mom's routine? What about your daughter's routine? What about your husband's routine? I was like, okay, Heather, it's pretty limited when you're just doing yourself. Expand, because you've got all of these people around you that if you really want to take that January focus of skincare, you can use a lot of things. But you want to run it through the filter of who's my audience, what's my philosophy, what am I trying to say here, and then incorporating that January skincare, beauty, appearance, New Year's resolution. So how can you, the question that you want to ask yourself, and that really helped me, because I would just be like, I'm not the best learner sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So instead of just saying, I'm not going to participate in social media, or I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to get on TikTok, I'm not going to do that, say, how can I? How can I use my stories on Instagram to showcase skincare routines? How can I make a reel? and showcase that? How can I go live? How can I show transformations just using this technology tool? I promise you it doesn't have to be super creative. If you follow me, you know it is not super creative, but it is super consistent, right? Like, you can count on me to show up because consistency trumps everything. This is not a Mary Kay class, but also in Mary Kay, consistency trumps everything. Just so we know, it's the same. Consistency, consistency. So I have a premier senior sales director that the entire way she got through DIQ was she went live every single night in her kitchen at 8 p.m. Every single night. And just washed her face and talked to her people. That is consistency. She was consistent, she was present, she was unique, and she was authentic. And when you are all of those things, I was listening to Heather Faring talk, like, people give their people to you. Oh, you gotta watch this girl, she's doing her thing. And it's such a beautiful way to get referrals and people added to your social media world. So I started following, if you guys follow me, I needed new jeans. And so I started digging around, and once you say out loud you need new jeans, just so you know, all of your Facebook now has ads for a whole bunch of boutiques. So I should get a whole bunch of money for this right now. Freckled Poppy, it popped up in my boutique thing. And so, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, they've got cute jeans. What I realized, their entire business is on social media. Yes, they do not have a storefront, but they go live every single night somebody in their world. And all they do is they show, let's just say it's jeans. They show the jeans, they show you how to wear them, they show you how they fit, they show you who they're for, and then they show you how to style them. And they give you an opportunity to buy them. Doesn't that sound exactly what you could do with a charcoal mask? This is who it's for, this is what it does, this is how you buy them. And that's all they do. They just show up consistent. It's crazy. That's their entire thing. It's crazy simple. So when I'm making my content list for the month, and I know that the content is going to be on skincare routines, I am extremely excited because the content is limitless. There are so many people out there with skincare concerns. Don't you agree? And you see them posting and not asking you, which is very irritating, but you see them posting and they're all overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. That's why they post, my kid's having acne, what program should I use? You gotta be out there and solving people's problems. What do? Find a need and fill it? Hasn't it been our recruiting strategy for 60 years? That's the social media strategy. It's the same thing. So another thing that can kind of get tripped me up is, how do you know if what you're doing is working, right? So there's quantitative and qualitative. Qualitative are kind of those intangibles, those more soft metrics. And so a lot of what I have found my benefit has been is in qualitative. So it's not exactly like with the girl at the gym. It's not where I meet my prospects, but it is where the communication, the layering of information, the rapport, and the trust is happening, is in that world. It is a major piece of my business building process, but it really is in more of that qualitative realm. So the first time I realized I was making a difference, don't you just wish somebody would say to you, I saw something you posted, and you're like, oh, hallelujah, I'm not just talking to myself. Sometimes true. But one time I went to the gym, different girl, this one's not as peppy. This one is taller and prettier. And she came up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I watched your latte look the other day and I loved it. Thank you so much for teaching me how to do more things with my makeup. She'd never bought anything from me. She'd never come up, oh, there I am, aren't I fun? She's never done anything. I didn't know she was watching. I didn't know any of that. Did that specific conversation lead to a sale? No. But did it help her see me as an advisor and someone she can trust? Yeah. So social media, you guys know how I feel about my layering sheet. Social media is like one big layering sheet. And so that started the rapport and the trust and the connection. Is she a Voluform repair customer? Yes. But it started with the latte look real. So qualitative. So my goal, just so you guys know, and I'm not there yet, is I'm just trying to do one thing at a time. I am trying to have an impactful presence on most platforms and to be competent at most of the tools. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to know everything. I'm just trying to do one thing at a time. I do know that people who watch stories are different than people who comment on posts. And there's a different audience for lives and there's a different audience for reels. So you kind of have to do a mixture of all of them. So how have I grown an impactful social media presence? I show up consistently, no matter if I think anyone is paying attention or not. I don't know if this woman is here, but somebody came up to me a couple months ago and said, how are you so brave to put that stuff out there for everybody? First of all, I don't know what that stuff is, but it's fine. We'll just go with, I heard brave, so that's what I was focused on. How do you get brave to put yourself out there? And I said, I always just feel like everybody wants what I know. Whether they do or not, and whether it's received or not, I have to, with my filter, go, oh, everybody is going to love this. Everybody needs to know what I know. And I always pretend like I'm talking to my best friend. And there's usually a dog on the floor, so that is not so hard, because typically we're just talking to Freddie about lattes. Like, we do that a lot. So, and you also want to be the same person in person as you are online. And I love it when I meet people in person and they say that they know me. Also weird. But you really do. What you see online is exactly who I am. And I had my first in-person customer open house that I've had in a really long time this year. I had a woman drive 2 hours to meet me. She'd been following my reels. I hadn't met her yet. And she walked in the door. She's probably a stalker now, she knows where to live, it's fine. But it's fine, I didn't even think about that until right now. So she walks in and she hugs me and she said, you're just like I thought you'd be. And that's the goal. That is what you're wanting to portray. So you also want to be patient. Be patient, be patient. Things aren't gonna just magically, you're not gonna go viral on your first, no. But I do want you to be patient, and I do want you to try new things. Because I would have never thought that I would love reels. In fact, I thought I would hate reels. It was I really thought, like, this is not my thing. And now I just know that it's really easy, and I can be consistent on, and I like it. So they are my thing. So it is really funny that you don't know what you don't know. I also think it's extremely important to be trustworthy. I think it's extremely important to be truthful. Naisha did not tell me that. I just took that from legal class. I heard trustworthy. So you're welcome, by the way. Be trustworthy, be truthful, don't be salesy. People love the opportunity to buy, but they don't like to be sold to. So another thing is, look at your news feed. You'll see Freckled Poppy, and then you'll also going to find things that you wish were in your news feed. Like, where's the gap that you'd like to fill? That's your place. So I want you to find that need, and I want you to fill it. Copy and pasting is not finding a need and filling it. Can I get an amen? Thank you. Okay, quantitative results. They are not like, you can look at the views, you can look at the likes, you can look at those things. I do look at those, but what I'm most important is where I'm getting the conversation in the sideways. What are people reacting to? What are people saying at the gym? What are people jumping in my DMs about? What can those conversations lead to? That's how I'm really measuring if what I'm doing is effective or not. What do they respond to, and what do they not? I try to do more inspection and less expectation. Because the less expectation is you're going to be really disappointed a lot, and you're going to be really discouraged, and you're not going to do it. So just inspect and find the things that are working instead of expecting them to work. So this last couple of weeks or so, my engagement on my live tutorials has been lower than normal. I don't know what you people are doing, but you're not watching me, and that's stop. Come over here. Come back over. Come back to me. So I started looking at some patterns. Instead of being discouraged, I looked at why things were lower than they normally are. And I found that the length of things are pretty significant for me. I looked at the topics, I looked at the timing, and so I'm looking for patterns. It matters a great deal to my audience what time of day I go live. I didn't know that until I went looking around. Like 3 times as much interaction sometimes. Music behind the scenes matters. Prepping my audience for me going live at a certain time matters. And those things are easy for you to tweak. You know, if you know the problem, it's easy to solve, but it only comes through evaluation. So, summing up, there's only the authentic way to do social media. There is not a wrong way to do social media. So don't think it has to be perfect, and please don't be a cookie cutter. Don't start doing 90-second reels like I'm doing. It's rude, don't do that. Go do you, like try some new fun things. Figure out in what way can you be consistent? In what way can you show up in a joyful way? Start with one platform, and then it's really easy to expand to others instead of trying to do everything at one time. Learn from your audience. What do you like? What do they want to learn from you? This is about magnifying you and finding needs and filling them. So I do believe that copying others is the last thing you want to do in social media. It makes it not personal and not relationship oriented, and it does become obvious. So social media, I really want it to be a tool to magnify who we are as people and who we are as a sales force and we are as a company. It is refreshing to be real, don't you think? Refreshing, especially on social media. So know who you are, develop your message, communicate in your style, and I believe that things will naturally magnify. My influence in my social media world has grown significantly, like thousands and thousands, significant growth in the last couple of months because I just went, okay, Heather, who are you? What do you know? What do you like to do? And I pushed play. And that's all I did. So if you guys can find that relaxation into yourself, you will magnify yours as well. And I know now, not that I didn't know this before, but maybe I kind of got confused. I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be influential. And it's very different. And I don't need to influence everybody. Thanks. I don't need to influence everybody, just my people. My people are out there waiting for my voice. So, and I believe that this world, I don't have to say social media, the world in general needs more positivity, it needs more love, it needs more support, and it needs more community. And I believe that when you show up in the world of social media, the world needs more of you. Love you.
Let's hear it again for Heather Daniel Kent.
Just watch me shine.
I'm Jolie, and I'm going to walk you through how to achieve the classic confidence